back with more Angel. This is episode 15 of season 3. Very excited to jump back into this season, see what's going to happen next. Really loving this season so far. And yeah, I've got a lot to deal with Holt still being out there. I'm hoping they kind of revisit that fairly soon. Because, you know, we're getting to the last little chunk of episodes now, really. On like the last third of the season. So I think things are really going to start to escalate, and I'm excited to see exactly what they're going to focus on there. You know, the Wesley, Fred and Gunn love triangle-y thing is still a bit of a mess, but it seems like they're going down the Fred and Gunn route, which I'm happy with because I think they are pretty adorable. I do feel horrible for Wesley. And then the other kind of love triangle involved Angel sending Cordelia away with Gru, who's fine. So yeah, still lots going on, lots to address, I'm sure. So I'm excited to see where we're going to take this season next, and let's get into the next one.
You gotta admire the loyalty. All night here, hitting the books. Do you want to see Connor do something cool? I'm teaching him how to die. Don't.
Okay, it's a dream. Blood on your hands. Symbolic.
You okay, Wes?
No! Tell him.
Just a bit tired, is all. Is it about Connor? Anything we have to worry about?
Mr. Angel?
We're up, kiddo. Thank you. No problem.
Thanks so much. Thank you.
Aww.
Angel. And they bitch about my cold hands.
Uh-oh. Excuse me?
They're itty bitty hockey sticks.
Oh my
Check
god.
this out. How cute is this? Huh? Seriously.
Aww.
Seriously. Things have been a little slow since Cordelia and the Grusela went on vacation. A little slow? I can't wait to watch him now grow up. For him to lose his first tooth. Learn how to ride a bike. I want to help pick out a tux.
I don't like him talking about all these things he's looking forward to. It's a TV show. It's the Buffyverse. It's pain.
I went after him. I searched the pier, the arcade, nothing. So I sat up all night and waited for him to come home.
When did he
Maybe she didn't peer into the right places.
Yeah.
When somebody becomes a vampire, there's no turning back. No matter how much you want to believe, there's some part of him you can save.
Apart from I Will Remember You.
Wesley Wyndham Price heads the staff at Angel Investigations. Doles out
Oh,
assignments,
for goodness
specializes in
sake.
methods and research.
Things aren't always black and white, Justine. Good and evil.
What about Angelus?
He's evil.
Things are sometimes black and white, Justine.
Starting to get bored. You know, my barber has the same problem with his scissors. You're a coward. And I bet Caroline would agree. You remember her, don't you? Your dead wife? Mother of your dead kids?
Alright, that's enough exposition for the other people in the room.
Revenge. This isn't over, Holtz. I know it's dangerous. I don't care. You're a wizard.
Harry?
Maybe you could call Aubrey. She's real attractive and her paperwork says she's single. She probably needs a friend.
Fred? We're not hit a date.
Don't cry. Mom, please stop it.
Oh. Oh.
The Wolfram and Hart's official policy is to let Angel live until he becomes useful. I'm sworn to obey that policy. Is there some other way we can help you?
Oh.
I need the blood of Angel's son.
Got it.
Got it? What do you mean, got it?
Swiped it from his doctor's office. I don't know what
Yes.
good it'll do you, though.
Wes knows about us and you knew he knew and you didn't let me know?
I didn't know that we know they know we know.
Now he knows we're...
Maybe when we're out like this, we should just work.
No, can't do it that way. Maybe I'm greedy, but I want it all. The great girl and the great job. I don't care what Wesley says, but I'm not giving up either without a fight.
I don't know how I feel about that attitude.
You're a good friend. Isn't he?
Yes, but tell him. Ah.
Let's finish this now.
I'm not supposed to be doing this.
Oh dear. Yes! Nicely done.
Fred.
So she finds out her finger was covering the lens. See, that's when they're allowed moments like that, I would say.
Open the gates of truth.
How dare you call on the Loa?
I come in supplication, O Great One.
That the vampire will devour his child is certain. The dark question you harbor is only when.
No. The dark question.
God, I wish I could take this seriously.
Earthquake, fire, blood. Be heedful of the signs, human, and trouble the Loa.
I've heard better Christmas lists.
I need a drink.
So do I after that scene.
30-year-old, 2 ice cubes.
Maybe if I already had the drink and that's why that scene happened.
Sorry I'm late. Kind of ironic, my being a time shifter and all.
It's on.
When does this plan go into effect?
It's already started.
I'm sure it will work.
Hi.
Get lost.
Sorry to interrupt your staring. You look a little rough around the edges.
I'm not sleeping very well.
Yeah, that went well for Angel last season.
Maybe get a couple. I could use a friend right now. Ever since my son.
Find another one.
It gets lonely.
Good. Go.
I like the lonely thing.
What?
Yeah, lonely.
Ha.
That's a nice touch.
Take that, Aubrey.
He has every right to hate me. And if he ever comes close to any of my people ever again, or tries to touch a hair on my son's head, I'll kill him. And anyone who gets in the way, you might want to mention that.
It's cool that he's like putting boundaries up and he's not like saying, Holt is evil, don't trust him. He knows he did wrong.
This tiny girl, outsized, outmatched, outnumbered, and she survived.
Yes,
Why?
because she's amazing.
I would have found you eventually.
Oh shit.
He's not Angelus anymore. He's a good man.
Yes.
He's not even a man. Where they fail, however, is in the execution of justice.
Why are you looking all smug? You were shit.
Were yours the hands that clutched at my daughter as she was turned into a creature damned for all eternity?
Not all eternity, you killed her.
Angelus is in his- So long as the child remains with the demon, it's not safe.
Oh god.
This isn't war. It's revenge.
What's wrong with revenge? It's all some of us have left.
Maybe you should become more interesting then.
Look,
You also may discover that a child's coffin, Mr. Wyndham Price, it weighs nothing.
Ooh, man.
He's the boss, and we gotta respect that. His job is to keep things tight, and that's a lot of pressure.
Oh, good.
As long as we're not smooching on the job or, being sucked underground by a plant demon. I say, why not go for it?
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Waking up in the morning and making the world safer, better. Always had that. But I never had a friend before. If we have to, I'll choose you.
I would too, to be fair.
I came on too strong, didn't I?
Oh,
No. You came on just right.
Wesley's a good man. He'll do the right thing. He always does.
oh no. Stop saying awful lines like that. That mean bad things are happening.
what I feel for Connor. Even that fear. Wes, it's not terrible. beautiful.
Mwah. Makes him happy. Well, if he has like true happiness with his son though. Like what if Connor walks for the first time and he turns evil and kills everyone? Ooh! That's the earthquake, I think. Loads, not giving a shit. Whoa! Bloody hell. Parkour!
Earthquake. Fire. Blood. Thought we were gonna be trapped in there.
Oh shit. He's gonna believe it. Oh, and it's a...
At least I would have had something to snack on.
Oh no! Oh, don't make that joke. Oh, and the blanket was like a sky, and they talked about blood in the sky, and oh no! Okay, really solid episode overall. I really liked that one. And I'm scared about where all this is going. Wesley's clearly going to believe that this prophecy is going to come true, but I don't think the prophecy is actually true, and it's going to be a mess, and I don't know what's going to happen, and it's... And Cordelia's not here, which is also a very, very bad thing. Bring her back. She can leave Gru at the airport and just come back, Cordelia, please. But yeah, really great episode overall. Where do we begin? I did like, I made a note that the first line in the episode, even though it was a dream, it was weird actually, how it's supposed to be like Wesley's dream, but he was dreaming that he was asleep and that Gunn and Fred were having a conversation before he like even awoke or anything. Do people actually have dreams like that when they're not even present for a conversation but they dream one? So I've never had that. Maybe that's just me. But I still thought it was an interesting way of like starting it, showing how plagued Wesley is by this fear. And it was kind of cool to see that, because as frustrating as it is that Wesley's just not telling Angel about the prophecy, considering he told him openly about the Shanshu one where he thought Angel was just going to die. It does kind of make sense, I think. Even Gunn was talking about it in this episode. You know, emotions can be powerful and cloud our judgment. I think that's definitely the case. I feel like Wesley's nervous to bring this to Angel in fear of what that may do to Angel and his like mental stability and his frame of mind. You know, I think that could destroy him if he even thinks there's a chance he could hurt his son. That might wreck him. And otherwise he'd probably confine in Cordelia, but she's not here. And right now I don't think he'd confide in Gunn or Fred either, because they've kind of wrapped up in their relationship, and I think he's trying to distance themselves from them because he doesn't want to see them be together, which is fair. So I can kind of see why he's in this situation, but I don't know. I don't like how much he was taking in what Holtz was saying, and I don't think it's real, but it's... I don't know. It's an interesting story. I do like where they could be heading with that, and just exploring Wesley's worry about this and his state of mind and the constant anxiety he's feeling was pretty interesting. And we did have this idea in this episode where Wesley was working too much and too hard, and they were kind of positioning that with Gunn and Fred kind of slacking off a bit when they're supposed to be on patrol. You know, well, more so Gunn in this episode, but you know, Fred was guilty of it in the last episode as well. Or was it a couple of episodes ago? Whenever they got sucked up by the tree. I think that was the last episode. You know, they got a bit sidetracked and they were just making out instead of getting on with their job. After, you know, outside of work hours, go for it. Go to town. But yeah, I thought that was kind of an interesting thing, and the idea of being scared of or for someone's son. We had Aubrey was scared for her son. That was sort of a ruse, but it did actually happen. She did actually lose her son. And then we had, you know, alongside that, Wesley was scared for Angel's son. And the idea of Connor's blood playing like a big role in things. Because that was part of the demon guy's plan. He wanted Connor's blood and they swapped that out. Obviously Wolfram and Hart got hold of that, which was kind of interesting. And then, yeah, how like the blood tied into the supposed prophecy about Connor and everything, how that all came to be. So I'm sure they'll probably explain exactly where that earthquake and everything came from. I'm sure there's like a big explanation for that. I hope it's just not this random thing that happens and Wesley's like, oh my god, the prophecy's true. Because that would be a bit much. But I imagine they're going to explain it because that would be quite coincidental otherwise. So yeah, a few things like that I thought were very, very interesting. So yeah, I don't even know if I mentioned my point. I'm going to say this point again anyway, in case I forgot, 'cause I can't remember saying it. Maybe I did, if not, skip ahead like 20 seconds. But the very first line of the episode, I think I got sidetracked talking about the dream. The very first line of the episode, Gunn said, he's like, saw the sleeping Wesley, and he was like, oh, you know, you got to give him something for his loyalty or something, you know. And then the rest of the episode was kind of testing that, and, you know, testing Wesley's loyalty to, you know, believing in Angel instead of the prophecy, and the loyalty to his workers, you know, when he was kind of saying to Fred, you know, maybe people shouldn't be dating and stuff. And I know a lot of that is driven by his jealousy. So I think a level-headed Wesley may have said something different, but clearly, you know, he hasn't been sleeping as well. That's going to affect his decision-making. So I'm very intrigued by that whole idea. That being said, as much as I liked the Wesley plot, I'm fearful for where it's going, don't get me wrong, but I'm very intrigued by it. They could have done any other exposition-y demon thing. Why did they do a burger sign that then spoke? It's not even like it was a quick scene. Like, that was a couple of minutes long of that bloody burger thing. That pushed it a bit for me. I found that ridiculous, so therefore I didn't take it very seriously. And for me personally, that undermined a lot of what the burger was saying to Wesley. That, oh yes, this prophecy will certainly come to pass. The earthquake, the fire, the blood. And it was just this fucking burger saying it. I'm like, I can't take this seriously. This episode's trying to convince me that there's some weight to this prophecy. And you're saying, and the person confirming it is a fucking burger. I don't know. I think they should have just done something different with that. Have it be, even if it was like, I don't know, any other statue. Could have had it be anything. Why a burger? Was it just late on a Friday? Were the writers high? I don't know. I mean, it was an interesting sight to behold, don't get me wrong. That just was a bit too ridiculous for me to take seriously, and therefore a lot of that scene, which had a lot of kind of heavy stuff in it and a lot of plot heavy stuff, I just couldn't absorb it because it was just this burger. But there we are. What can you do? I love seeing Angel be a very wholesome dad at the start, and he's still being a very wholesome dad, but the way they're talking, you know, it's a classic TV show thing, I guess. Gunn saying, oh, Wesley always makes the right decisions. He'll always do the right thing, which makes you think Wesley's not going to do the right thing, which scares me. You know, Angel can't wait to see Connor grow up and do all these things, blah, blah, blah. He bought him little hockey sticks and he bought him a little hockey jersey. Nah. That scares me. Something's going to happen to Connor. Don't know if he's going to die. I don't know if he's going to get kidnapped. Don't know if he's going to get sent to Pylia. Who knows? But something's going to go horribly, horribly wrong. Angel's going to be heartbroken. I'm going to be heartbroken because that's going to be awful. Especially because Darla sacrificed her life to get Connor here and it's not even going to work out properly. And oh my goodness, it's a mess. So I do think they were quite heavy-handed on that. You know, I think there's often a lot more subtlety to the surprises of the season and where the story could be going. But now it's just kind of like, well, Connor, you know, Angel's not going to see Connor grow up. That's not going to happen. Or else he's not going to make the right decision. So kind of like, oh dear. So I'm intrigued to see exactly how that's all going to work out, but kind of like, that's going to happen now. Whereas, you know, it would have been like Darla going, when she like goes into labour or something, she's like, oh, you know, I'll bring this baby into the world, and then she looks right at the camera and goes, if it's the last thing I do, or she'll be like, I will die for this baby. You know, that's kind of how it felt to me. Whereas her actually sacrificing herself in Lullaby was like a holy shit moment, I didn't see that coming. But I feel like they've really signposted it in this one. I don't know if that's maybe the point, because it's a prophecy, and maybe we're supposed to just believe the prophecies. Of course, there's going to be loads of signposts, but I don't know. That just felt a bit too much for me. Not as much as the bloody burger sign talking, but you know. And then it was cool seeing Lila again. I really liked Lila and Sajan, that guy. He was really funny in this episode. He had a lot of funny lines, and I liked the dynamic of him and Lila a lot. I hope to get a few more scenes working together, and it could be, because they seem to have like this ongoing plan. And the idea that Holtz is like, you know what, I'm doing things my way, Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. I'm doing my own thing. You go away now. You know, I'm on a divorce. You go away. I do kind of like him taking a stand like that, because Sergeant can't do anything about it. Poor old Sergeant Salt and Pepper. So I like that he kind of then went to Lila as like the next best thing. And she's pretty badass. So I did like that. And he was like, there's going to be something you need to get. It's really hard to find. We need to get Connor's blood. And then Lila's like, got it. That was really funny. I liked that moment. So I really liked the dynamic between those two. I hope we get a bit more of it. But I also really liked I really liked him in this episode a lot. So I imagine we're going to continue to see a bit more of that. And I'm excited about that pairing, more so than the Sarjan and Holtz pairing. So I hope they continue on with that. Then we've got, you know, Holtz and Justine have assembled a few more people. I did like the twist that, you know, the woman talking about her son, well, that actually did happen. She was also with Holtz. I liked that. Then we had the Wolfman Hart person swap out the blood at the hospital, and I thought that might have been tied into the Holtz thing, but clearly it wasn't. That was something else. So I kind of like how there were still like two separate twists going on, so you might have thought that was going one way. Yeah, that was a nicer surprise for me than Wesley never makes the wrong decision. That was a nicer twist for me. But again, maybe it's just the point of them signposting those kind of things. So maybe that's just, for me, didn't quite work or didn't quite land. But, you know, that's nothing compared to Burger Man. What else? The Fred and Gunn. Let's talk about them. Still very adorable moments. There's a few like moments. But, you know, it's the honeymoon phase. I get it. It's a TV show couple. I get it. And I did really like the kind of conclusion they came to at the end of their story in this episode. I really like what what Gunn was kind of saying. You know, I've had this feeling about saving the world all my life and all that, and he gets a lot of joy from that. But you know, I've never met a Fred before, and he'd choose her. I really liked that. That was a cool conclusion to come to, because his attitude near the start, when they were at like the carnival kind of place, it kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I feel like that was pretty disrespectful. I mean, I get even Wesley's intentions weren't particularly just and fair, because he would do anything he can to kind of split those two up, because he's very jealous. So it's not like Wesley's completely absolved of any role, and I imagine that would have annoyed Gunn, so he would feel a bit more inclined to be like, you know what, Wesley, you know, I'm with Fred, you know I'm with Fred now, I'm a lot more entitled to kind of show that off and be with her. But it was when he was like, oh, I have to have it all or nothing. I'm like, relationships are compromises, Gunn. Let's not do this. Let's not be like, this is how it has to be, because then things escalate into something quite bad. You know, moments like that, and when he was like, you're my girl. But I get, you know, he meant that in more of a sweet way, but it just kind of ties into all of that. So yeah, when he was kind of saying, you know, I want all or nothing, I want a good job and a good girl, I was like, well, fine, but after your good job is done for the day, enjoy hanging out with your girlfriend. And, you know, I get like having workplace romances aren't like the end of the world. I think you just need to manage it in a decent way and still remain professional. You know, just because you go to work doesn't mean you stop, you know, liking or loving each other. You just need to be professional, because lives are on the line, the lives are at stake all the time, and they're after these vampires that could have killed people. You know, he's talking about this feeling he's getting of making the world a better place, getting rid of these demons and everything. Well, you can't do that if you're, you know, sucking Fred's face off when you're supposed to be on the job. So something about that just kind of rubbed me the wrong way, how he was being in that early scene. because it is about compromise and stuff, but that was clearly the story they were going for. The conclusion he came to at the end, I think he was kind of realising he's kind of a bit more level-headed and grounded. So I did like where he ended up, and I really liked that final scene with those two. So they continue to be quite adorable, and I look forward to seeing a bit more of that relationship develop. And yeah, it's kind of nice that Wesley doesn't just have like, oh, he's jealous of them, that's his only story. I do really like what they're doing with this whole prophecy thing as well. So we'll see what happens with it, but I'm very nervous and scared about that. But yeah, overall, really, really solid episode. I really liked it. Really enjoyed Sarah and Lila working together. That was a lot of fun. I liked the conclusion of the Fred and Gunn stuff, where they came to with that. The Wesley prophecy, Holtzy thing is very intriguing. I can't wait to see them develop that a bit more. Angel was very wholesome as a dad, and there was a bit of signposting which makes me think that's not going to last very long, which makes me nervous, but we'll see what happens. And yeah, the themes of like being scared of or for someone's son, Connor's blood being like the key to things, how much of your life you put into your work, how much work you put into your life, the kind of dynamic there. We had a lot of that mainly with like Wesley and Gunn stories. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing where they're going to advance all these further. I mean, I can't say I'm like enthralled by Holtz's little troupe of evil shit Avengers. Evil Avengers. It's because I don't really know many of the individuals outside of Justine, and even then, Justine's the revenge is all they have character, and I'm pretty tired of that kind of trope. So I feel like Holtz has that as well, but I feel like there's been a bit more layers to him, and we've seen him in the past, we've seen how he was before, you know, he has more of a personal connection, so I feel like they just need to like flesh out Justine a bit more, and all the other members of that troupe if they want me to kind of get a bit more invested in that. But the whole thing with Wesley and his scene with Holtz and all of that, and where that could potentially go, I'm a lot more interested in, because I'm already invested in Wesley. So yeah, really, really good episode overall, and I look forward to seeing where all these stories are going to continue for the rest of the season. Also very scared about it because of all the stuff that was signposted. I think they're setting us up for an almighty fall. I'm probably going to cry, because when don't I these days? And yeah, still really loving season 3. It's been fantastic. And this was another very, very solid episode. But Cordelia, please come back to me. Yeah, great episode overall. My next reaction is going to be the next episode of Angel. It's like a all Angel, what's the word I'm looking for? Holy shit. Cycle. Reaction cycle. It's all Angel this time, so it's this one, episode 16 and episode 17. So episode 16 is coming up next. And yeah, until then, thanks for watching.